So again, it's not early morning. It's about mid morning. There are lots of people that have gathered. A few people walking in and out, but there are many nice buildings. The floor or the ground has great stones, probably heated and made from the sand that's not far off. The buildings are nice. There's like clay rooftops, so very different from the houses you walk through, because they're just really sort of wood houses. But this little section right here is definitely nice compared to 90% of everything else between here. Griffin comes in and he says, "This is our center square. Feel free if you're looking for something. This is the place for it." He said, "I must go and speak to the rest of my order, unless there's something that you would need of me."
Could you point me in the direction of a reputable source of healing potions?
So a reputable source. We
a
have
reliable source.
So we have
reliability more than reputability, I guess.
So, let's see. They're a source of healers. They're clerics and stuff like that. So it's like there's a few people that come through here. One of your best bets is to maybe try to catch a merchant that is about to go across the Sea of Sand. So sometimes they come in and out. There might be a few people here. I don't know if you're looking for something basic. I'm sure they can supply something basic. Most of the people that need healing come to us in our cleric order. The Order of the Moon. So anywhere you happen to see a full moon symbol, that's where we are, and we will be able to but not everyone feels comfortable being blessed with healing from someone with such faith as we do. But I myself has never bought a potion, but I do know that sometimes people do. Just make sure that you get what you pay for.
This is why I was asking if you knew someone that was at least reliable enough to sell me what I'm wanting to buy and not rip me off.
It's like, I might be able to go ask another cleric if you want to check things out, and I can get back to you if you wish.
Okay. Or if you know a cleric that makes them, I could put in a standing order. I tend to use them frequently.
It's like we use the power of our goddess.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So it's like So it's like, now we can get rid of poison. We can heal wounds. We can reattach your limbs when they are shattered or ripped off. But we're not much into food and drink to heal. So
I thought clerics were the ones that usually made the healing potions.
Depends. So his order, like what Dusty picked for the order, is a very interesting one. So they don't make that. So you go to them and they bless you with the goddess, and that's how everything is about blessing. They're not medics in that way. Now there are other light clerics and some of the other domains are big into that.
Yeah.
But he's a twilight.
Okay.
So their idea, they live in that edge between life and death. So medicine is not a skill, healing and repair skill. Medicine is not. But he said, if you can give me some time, I will go and ask some of my order that is a little bit more social than me.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't mind, paying a proper price. I just don't want to get ripped off. I'll wander around and see what everybody's got.
So you might be able to do some perception checks to maybe see who would, who looks like they have what?
Who looks like they have what?
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
looks like they have
You
what?
can look to see.
Oh.
Yeah, like, cause you can look around and you might see like, well, this person has this person has that, just by the looks. So, and while he's doing that, what is Paige wanting to do? She heard all that talking about the.
Yeah, but Paige doesn't really want to have to talk to people. She just wants to observe and listen and.
So you can just sort of wander around and listen to conversations in the town if you want.
Okay.
So, but you don't want to get in people's way.
Right. I just want to
you just
kind
want
of.
to. You just sort of sit and listen
And just observe, see if this is a place.
Okay. Well, if you go there, you can just sort of sit and do perception and see what you can sort of hear about that's within earshot.
Okay, so I'll roll my first perception with my new puppy dice. Well, your new puppy dice that I'm.
Here's the healing pots I currently have. I finally remembered the right book and have it in my book bag. I just don't have my stupid binder and my character sheet. Because there was some stuff that I'd acquired that's on that sheet that's only written on that
22.
sheet.
All right. So you're going to be able to hear really well. So Paige, you went over and you're sort of in the little corner right here. There happens to be a blacksmith near you, just tolling away. So ding, ding, ding. You look over and he's making something. He's not really talking to anyone. But you also look over and you see someone with a barrel. And it looks like they're hauling. It looks like water from the type of barrel. There's nothing, no smells. There's nothing like that. It's perception because. Using your intelligence, since you've heard about this, you've seen the great, a sea of sand that's up that way. So there's definitely probably quite a commerce here for water, and stores and stuff. So, but that's, unless you want to investigate more for the blacksmith, if they're doing anything.
Not at the moment. I may come back and do that later. But I'm just going to go wander where I can...
Right.
More people.
So she's just sort of wandering around. So Huggins is sort of looking around.
I guess it would be sleight of hand to do like the coin trick where you roll the coin.
Yeah, just sort of flipping around.
Yeah, but instead of using the coin, I'd be having one of those glowing blue shards.
Okay, so just sort of... So you wanted to see if anyone notices you.
As I'm just looking around, I'm just, and I rolled a 19, so sleight of hand total of a 24. To do it properly, to do it appropriately, so that it's.
So instead of you venturing out, you want to see if anyone.
I'm just looking. I'm not saying anything. Just seeing what everybody's got. Just slow moving. I'll work my way around. Just kind of see what everybody has.
So the shard that you've got, it glows.
It's really all it does.
Yeah, but
they don't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They don't know that.
Right.
So
sorry.
So
That person
Guy
looks
with a butcher
little
knife.
scary.
so
Bow and arrow.
I didn't say he had it drawn.
Well, it's in his hand.
Well, that's it. Oh.
He looks kind of scary.
Well, it's like Judge much. Judge much.
I mean, he's
Cleaver comes fucking up.
So this poor hunchback comes up. So he's dragging his foot.
He's
up.
dragging a cleaver.
So, well, he came from one of the things. It's like. So he does have a cleaver, and he comes up. He goes. Again, he's very sort of worn fellow. He goes, "Hey, that's really pretty stone you got there.
It's shiny.
So it's very, very tiny. Do they have any magical properties?
Just shines.
It's like no healing, or like maybe restorative properties.
Not that I'm aware of.
You know,
I'm sure that, but then again, I don't know much about magic. I just know it glows.
it's like it's really magical looking. You know, things that don't normally glow on their own.
We found a bunch of them in a mine.
See, did you come
Well,
with those?
not a bunch of them, but
So did you come with the airship people? The flying ship?
uh,
Or the Cloudfarer or whatever that is? I've never seen anything that quite like it. What's the thing? Oh, I didn't always look like this. I know you. I see you staring on the hump. Thing.
Oh.
So I used to be a very prominent butcher, and the hags came and cursed me, and none of the clerics here can do anything. So I'm constantly. I've had dreams that I could find some type of magic item that could restore me to my previous glory.
Oh, well, I don't know if this shiny rock could do it.
A pity. So
I'm not really sure what magical qualities this rock has, other than it's shiny. It
well,
glows.
well, you could.
In complete darkness, you can see everywhere.
Well, if you're curious, you might be able to go and talk to the head elf. It's like they're supposedly a high elf. So very, very knowledgeable about magic and other things. They're the one that told me that my dream had meaning.
Okay. Well, what do you sell? Do you have a stand or shop here? Did he come away from?
Yeah, he came around.
From like a, was he selling stuff? Or?
Yeah, like at the little orange. He was on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So like he just see the glowing because it's daytime and you can see it glowing in the daytime. so the magic. So he said, if you happen to have any magic items, I would be most pleased to try to be healed. You know, rumor has spread that the hags that have cursed this city have been defeated. We had all hoped that their curses would have been lifted, but sadly, many of us that have had these transgressions have not reverted. So,
well, I don't have any of that kind of magic.
So
I know that.
It's a pity. So.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do magic either. So.
What type? You have magical ears. They glow too.
Yeah, I didn't do it. This was done to me.
You're weird.
I didn't say I wanted it to happen. Is she snoring?
Yeah, she's
snoring. Oh, I thought that's wondering what that was. It's like, because I get one. Is she growling?
No, she's snoring.
That's cute.
So,
she's so tired.
So,
that's funny.
He said, "Don't forget me. Don't forget me."
And but I asked, what do you sell?
So
what kind of wares do you have?
I strip meat off the bone.
So does he have like rations, already dehydrated type stuff?
Yeah, like yeah, he probably makes jerky.
Probably got some salt pork, that kind of stuff.
Or he's like he like does stuff for the butcher and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But he strips it.
Oh.
So like hunters and stuff can come and pay him
to break it in. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll toss him a copper for the information.
You're cheap.
It was information. You're giving it for free. I was just saying thank you by throwing him a copper.
He bites on a little bit.
It's free money. What are you bitching about?
The copper. It's like using a copper.
Is it my turn?
As hard as it is to get this kind of money in this game, copper's a lot.
Thing is, you all have a working wage. It's like this thing.
I do now.
Alright, so pages moved around.
19.
So we're listening some more.
Mm-hmm.
So you've moved over and there's some priest that is dressed sort of weirdly. It's more sort of maybe like a monk. So standing talking about tolerance and and making sure that what you do now will come back around. Make sure that you are squared away before you cross the sea of sand. Your evil heart can draw bad things to you in the sea of sand. This is sort of given the end of the world speeches. If you happen to venture across the sea of sand.
Okay. What about to my other side? Can I hear anything that they are, or see anything?
Alright, so you're watching along, and you notice there looks like there's some type of hunter and like farmer. So the farmer is telling the hunter that he will no longer need his protective services. He said since Vincent has slew the hags, supposedly, like he won't be needing the protection that he was giving, and that their agreement is complete. The hunter, on the other hand, or what looks like a hunter, so is saying that's fine, but I need to be paid, and that he's not been paid in the last month. What looks like the farmer is saying, it's like, well, you've not done anything in the last month. I've not had anything happen. And he says, you have been staying on my property, hunting and supposedly protecting me, so for free. So he feels that the agreement should be settled, since he didn't really do anything other than live off of his land. Live off the animals that lived on his land, eat his crops, and have a place to stay.
Okay. Does it appear as if they're going to come to blows?
I don't know if Paige has enough charisma
To tell? Okay.
Um,
Because she just doesn't want to get in the middle of it as she's wandering around, figuring.
Paige can think about, does it sound fair that he says, well, he got something out of it, or does Paige feel that he
I
should
wouldn't
pay?
start a fight over it. Paige
Is
thinks
this a
that
pretty
it's-
loud discussion? No.
No, they're not coming to shouting yet.
Okay. What can I tell about the shops, anything, the houses that I'm walking by, whatever they are?
Well, they're definitely they look like they're cooked sand type. They've been packed and stuff like that, like clay and sand. The towels to make the rooftops took a lot of skill. Like like I said, they're clay hard top, so they can withstand a ton of harshness, from bright rain to heavy. So they're well built. It is a little odd though that once you leave the street, everything else is like, huts and not really anything spectacular. Just think of them like more like shanty shacks. You got 4 walls and some straw.
Okay.
So you do not happen to notice there's 2 armed guards with shields at the big house at the end, though.
Okay, I'm just gonna wander in that direction. I'm not gonna speak to them, but I'm just gonna see if they're going to let me just pass on by with no issue, being a stranger in town.
So I'm assuming that you move towards the steps. So, they closed in and they ask, what business did you have there, elf?
I am just a wandering traveler here with Vincent, and I was just learning about your town.
So it's like what? It's like Vincent is not here. So this this is Milady's house.
And who is Milady?
It's like,
Griffith. We came here with Griffith, and he's trying to locate someone to help us purchase potions. So, who is Milady?
The Sandstar. It's like, have you not heard of her? The Watcher of the Sand.
That sounds like a boring job.
Can I roll history and you tell me?
You can. Let me see.
Because I don't know if this is anything that I would be interested in.
And see, we've never been this far north. I can just let you know, like, your forest that you grew up in, like, this was, like, you were at the bottom part of it. If you kept going, eventually it came to this section. So, like, it was a huge, huge forest. You were on the bottom, and, like, they've now come out to the top.
I rolled a 15.
On history. You've never really seen, like, a desert of this size. In the islands that you're from, there are like sandy islands or whatever, but they're nowhere near,
like
nowhere like what you saw, especially flying in when you flew in. It's like, listen, it's all you see. It's just sand. The climate here is warmer, but it doesn't, not enough to not have vegetation grow here. But you notice though that, again, there are mountains here. There's like these 2-3 little mountains and there's no mountains around. It's just forest. And then once you get past this little town, knowing what you know, you can tell the elevation drops. It's almost like a plateau that sort of, like, you can almost.
And that's where we're at in the sand.
You're on the edge.
Sand beyond.
And then it's like it's going to go a little ways. You can tell, like you're here.
And so you can see.
And you can actually see it start dropping down, and the elevation
behind their house, behind this house,
like
where
behind
I'm
the
looking.
town.
Yeah, like, so once you all leave, you can just tell that, like, it's way down. So using your scientific knowledge.
But the mountains behind us.
Yeah, the mountains behind you in the forest. So the mountains, like, to the side of the forest, and then there's the sand that way. So whatever this sea of sand, it's the elevation. The elevation is definitely below sea level by a lot.
But yet it's dry.
Well, you're nowhere close to the sea.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
The best thing I could probably tell in real life, it's probably like Death Valley, where it's below sea level and it's like way down there.
Okay. But I've never, in all my studies or anything, heard anything about her.
No, well,
anything
you didn't know like
that any of this existed.
They never really talk, like, not even talk much about it.
Because, I mean, they ask if I've ever heard of her, and I'm saying I apologize, but no, I have not.
So.
I would be intrigued to make her acquaintance.
So they look over at you, like, again, you are a high elf, and so she. They sort of whisper to each other and talk. One of them asks you to wait here while the other one goes in.
Okay,
So
I'll be happy to do that.
and we'll pop back over to Hagen now.
I'll look for whatever the elf. Did he point? Hey, you got to talk to so and so elf.
So, yeah, he motioned towards the big house over there.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I would mosey my way that direction. I guess I would see them talking as I walked up.
Yeah. So about the time that you come up, of course, Paige, and one of the guards goes into the house. So, would you like to say anything to Paige?
Looking at found anything interesting so far?
I am waiting to see if the Watcher of the Sand would be interested in having a conversation, because they asked if I had ever heard of her, and
The water.
sadly I have not. But
Isn't that just the ocean?
I'm saying this to where the guards can't hear me, because I don't want to
I'm
offend
confused. She said
anyone.
water of the sand. I don't know if she's
Watcher.
talking about a
Watcher.
person.
Watcher of the Sand.
Watcher. Oh, I thought she said water of
No,
the sand.
sorry,
I'm like,
Watcher.
water of the sand. That's
That
an
would-
odd thing.
That would be her blood.
But I'm saying it quietly because I don't want the guards to hear me.
Watcher of the sand.
And I'm going to say, but there's
And-
nothing else really in this place that is of interest to me at the moment. Does that sound snooty?
Well, no, that's Paige.
Seriously?
Well, maybe coming across a high elf is sort of a big deal.
Right, that's what I said. Nothing else
Would it
here
be a
is.
history to see if I know who?
Well, there might be, since this is connected to, this is right at the edge, the other end of your forest. You've heard stuff.
Just a 19 is what I rolled
Just
for
a
history.
19.
I got a 0 plus 0.
Well, it's so because you spent a lot of your life in your own town, so people probably the people, if they were traveling up north coming down, they may have ventured through. You may have heard of people talk about how would I put it? You've probably heard that there was a great desert. Whether or not that ever interested you in your lifetime, I don't know. If that was interesting.
Wood elf background, not
Yeah,
really.
I just that sounds,
Doesn't sound like
that
my
probably
place.
sounds
type of
absolutely
thing.
horrible to a wood
Yeah.
elf. The fact
Yeah.
is, there's no trees or
Yeah.
no grass or
It doesn't sound very pleasant.
Yeah,
of a place.
sand probably. You probably don't like sand,
Right.
It's.
I'd be
it's like-
curious enough to know what goes on there, so that if I end up there, I can avoid get away.
Well, the stories that you've probably heard is literally there's nothing or death there. It's probably just sort of like bedtime
Would
stories.
I have actually heard of Watcher of the Sands? Maybe.
I want to say you've probably not even heard of this town.
Okay.
It's just like I said, it's a very small settlement.
Right. I'll be like, oh, I've never heard of that either. What do they watch sand do?
I have no idea. But maybe she'll be intrigued to meet us as well.
Oh, well, fellow over there was nice enough to say to talk to this elf because she might be able, or that the elf, he didn't say who the elf, male or female, just that the high elf might be able to help us get some healing potions. That we need
Oh,
for the
so
group.
maybe two
So-
for one.
Apparently this is where we're supposed to go.
Okay. So I knew it was an elf, but he just called her a high elf.
Because he called her a high elf,
yeah,
right?
he called her a high elf,
or he said high elf. He didn't say her or he.
Yeah, her. But now you know, you knew it was an elf, but now you know it's another high elf, which is there's not a lot of high elves around, so that's that probably piques your interest a little bit.
So I will mention to this person, this
The
guard,
guard.
also that this is my companion Hagen, and
I'll do a slight bow.
he met someone who told us that
Yeah, I just kind of pointed to go. The meat man over there said that I was asking around for.
He goes, one of the cursed.
Yeah, I'm just looking for healing potions for the group. We end up in a lot of sticky situations. We don't always have a healer.
Well, it's like we have a whole company of healers here. They only seem to want to work, at sundown or sun up, but they're pretty effective when they decide to work.
Yeah, we just need some potions. Just basic ones, nothing fancy.
Well, they're like, well, if our lady will decides to see you, we will tell you to go in and visit her.
Okay.
So let's. What do I do with the bag?
We're out of game. I don't know how much longer I can hold my eyes. I'm trying.
We're up 28-0.
Oh,
Get it.
What was it they used to call it? A shellacking.
Okay, so I can use my new time dice.
Yes, JR got him time dice.
Time dice.
Yeah, so like they have measurements of time, so I can roll 24 hours or 30 or day dice.
Long.
I need to find my windage and drift and bullseye dice. You roll them like this, and one has it's got arrows pointing in all different directions, and there's a bullseye on one side and on the other, and then
Okay, so you all wait about 30 minutes, which isn't bad.
We can do that.
Yeah, so it's 30 minutes, and then out comes the guard, and it goes, "Milady will see you all."
thank you.
So, and we will go inside. Where's my little inside?
I'd still be playing with the little shard.
Shard. Let's see if
I can't remember if I disconnected my battery. My vehicle has got a short in it somewhere.
Oh.
So if I don't disconnect my battery, if I won't be out of it for a long time, it'll slowly die.
Well, you might want
It should be okay.
to go
It
check
hasn't
on
been
that.
off. Well, it hasn't been that long since I ran it, so
It's been almost 2 hours.
yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay.
It's a slow run. It's a couple of the dash.